Hi, I'm Johnny Lawson, co-founder of InteriusFarms. I'm a 2019 December graduate of the Dace Hotel Faculty of Management with a degree in Strategic Management and Finance.
My name's Tristan. I graduated from McGill in 2017 where I studied finance and sustainability.
So we co-founded InteriusFarms about 2 years ago, and I think the core thing to understand about why two business students would even go and try and found a farming business to begin with really stems out of a core belief that we both formed over the years. Tristan and I have known each other for quite some time, over the impact that business can have on society and sustainability. And so really a core idea we've always had and want to do is start a business where you can really reshape how things are done for the better through business. We're kind of struck with this reality that, people's social awareness, everything is excellent, and the movement towards sustainability is great, yet people are always going to need to find a way to get their food. And so looking to integrate sustainability in the core of businesses is something we've always wanted to do. I'll let Tristan maybe talk a little bit more about the opportunity in why farming itself, though.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I got a call from Johnny, and he kind of asked me, have you seen this vertical farming stuff? And at that point, it was still a pretty new industry. Things were still kind of just reaching, public awareness. And kind of the first light bulb that went off in our heads was, wow, Quebec must be a great place for this business. And the reason we thought that, basically vertical farming is a process of growing crops indoors using artificial light and climate control so that you can grow year round. And that artificial light, by basically replacing the sun with LED lights, even though those are efficient, you're still using massive amounts of electricity. So the two things that struck us were, okay, Quebec has more than 99% renewable energy and it's super cheap. So we said, Quebec, Montreal, that seems to be a great place to start a farm. And as we thought more about setting up a farm in Montreal, we started to key in on some inefficiencies that we saw in the systems that were available. We originally started out looking at kind of out-of-the-box solutions for vertical farming, and we started moving away from those slightly to develop our own technology that we felt would create even more efficiencies than vertical farming already allows for. So talking a little bit more about those intrinsic efficiencies of vertical farming and why that makes so much sense. In Quebec, we import hundreds and thousands of tons of fresh produce every year. And because our local farmers can only supply us with fresh local produce 5 months of the year, for 7 months of the year, we're importing from the American Southwest. This is already a water-strained region, and it's very, very possible that in the next 20 to 30 years, nothing's going to be able to grow down there anymore. So this is actually a much more urgent issue than I think a lot of people are aware of. So we need to find a way to localize production of our fresh food within Canada, and that's a problem that vertical farming can help solve. Talking about the advantages for today, right now, in the winter, a typical imported head of lettuce that's going to arrive in Montreal is going to travel thousands of miles and have to go through international customs. The way that we grow produce in vertical farms and using our technology, we can go from farm to plate in a matter of hours instead of weeks.
Yeah, and so that's where our value proposition comes in. I feel like it's kind of twofold. So on one hand, we have what I would call our commercial clients. So, the grocers who we'd potentially be working with and some of the ones we've talked to, some of the food box suppliers and companies. And the thing there is our value proposition is really driven by creating supply chain stability and creating pricing stability year round. I think it's becoming more evident to people that, especially in the COVID era, that we've had these long tail shocks and that they're going to be a reality. Climate change is something that's very predictable, and I think businesses are starting to seek that stability. So on the one hand, it's about localizing the supply chain for them, but that localization also drives a lot of value for that end consumer. And so we feel we're able to offer our end customers, the actual consumers, a much fresher product, and one that's going to be grown without the use of pesticides, and with just a much lower carbon footprint, which is something that consumers are starting to value. So for us, it's all about delivering freshness to the end consumer while also making a really viable business solution for our commercial clients.
Yeah, so I guess we'll talk a little bit about the experience at Dobson. This year was actually not the first time that we competed in Dobson. We were in Dobson last year, and while we did make it to the finals, we didn't place, and that was kind of a really, really extremely valuable experience for us in, beyond the experience of not placing and realizing how much further we had to go. There was also all of the educational opportunities that were offered last year that helped drive our business forward in a number of ways. And coming into this year, there was so much uncertainty in the world with COVID and all of that. And one thing that we really want to highlight is just how excellent of a job the Dobson Center and McGill did to make sure that we were still, all of the contestants in Dobson were getting that same educational value throughout the program that was helping to drive the businesses forward. It would have been kind of very easy to let that stuff fall off, but quite the contrary. The experience was really just the same, if not even better than last year.
Exactly, and that's where, the core takeaways from Dobson for us are really about, firstly, the preparation. So the fact that the Dobson Center was actually able to continue to perform the actual competition, I think, was outstanding, because that's really a key piece of Dobson for us, is getting ready to be able to answer all those questions. And it's 20 minutes in total of pitching, with 15 minutes of that being Q&A, but you better know your stuff. And so I think that alone is really worth the Dobson experience. It really puts the pressure on you to be prepared and get you that much closer to being investment ready, rather. The only other thing I'd highlight is probably, even in spite of the circumstances this year, connections were still really strong. And so that's a big benefit for anyone looking to participate in the Dobson Cup. Is, we've come out of the competition in both years with people who have contacts directly in industry and directly for our clients. And that's huge for us as far as being able to gain the knowledge, but also the business opportunities from doing that, in addition to earning potential investment. And so, I think the whole process was managed extremely well this year, and we're really, really happy to have participated.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Really thankful to have been a part of this, and excited to see who comes out of it next year.